Alright.
Where did I drop it?
The screen is black. Let's talk about a new topic. This is game therapy with Joe Bomb Squad. We're gonna figure out a topic. So let's keep going.
Nobody needs to get hurt, alright?
Smells like shit coming out of your mouth.
Man, fuck this shit.
Let's make a stop somewhere.
Yeah, task cable's about to get turned off.
Sonar collection stock.
Okay, who gives a
I only have 100 and something thousand though, so I have to get another mission. Photo opportunity. Photo opportunity. No money.
One of the Dead, Guardians of the Galaxy movie, Kingsman. Somebody's buying movies on my cable.
Brandon gave you money for that, remember? Alright. Let's think about what we can come up with.
There's more than one movie on here, dude.
Because they bought more than one. And you bought the King. Yes, you did. You wanted to buy it a couple of times. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Environmental changes. Alright, cool. Okay. People feel comfortable with some stuff. So they feel emotionally comfortable with landmarks and stuff like that. And I just watched something with American Eye that was kind of like not unsettling, but it was like on a YouTube video, obviously. I don't usually like go for like the whole not really like bias, but more like it's like subtle overtones or subtle undertones of malice, I guess, in the man's voice. So it's kind of like sends a sense of emergency to the viewer, like, oh my God, something needs to be done about it now. But in some cases it does. In some cases, not in all cases. Let's see.
No, my son never used it.
I'm gonna use this thing.
He never used it, that's why I cut it off.
Oh, man.
$95 a month for something.
So,
He's got a laptop.
So, yeah, the evaporating of natural resources, of natural land, and the way that they,
Oh, I know I did it.
the way that people decide to, whether people decide to,
Whether you find it or not, I did it.
to see them or not, if they affected you, and the fact that they're or the stipulation that they might not be there. How does that affect your emotions? And because Venice is sinking, and there's so many places that are about to change, I guess. And some people are calling or saying that, or some people, I mean, I guess like people are saying that it's like the age of Aquarius or something like that, or anything like that. But I don't really think it's the age of Aquarius. I just think it's the age of a little bit more muddiness, you know. I also think that I live in a place where it's protected by levees, and that could change eventually. That could change abruptly sometimes, but also too, it only changes with the rising tide, and that's usually with the rise in and also too, it's probably going to be, I'd say that it's going to be covered in water probably, I'd say by 2050, I guess. That's just my approach, my thing about it. I don't really have any like emergency right now, unless but also too, I'm not gonna once it is covered in water, I'm not gonna be like begging for change or anything like that. And also, I mean, I'm not to say that I am on disability, but I am gonna try to work my way because I'm training and in certain pieces and parts of art and things. And I'm gonna see if I can make my life as an artist, and also 3D render maybe for digital artists. That'd be really cool. I think that would be really cool if I would wind up working for a video games studio or that would be cool. I think that would be awesome. But also too, I mean, I'm not really too set in stone as far as, I'm not saying that the culture is gonna, or that the people are gonna stop, but
Don't be no wise ass punk. Now
but
give
the
me
land
that.
itself is pretty much meaningless because it's just land. I mean, granted, it's gonna suck when it goes. It's gonna be like, oh my gosh, it sucks everywhere. It's like, but it's gonna be
It's on now, motherfucker.
Citizens report assault with a deadly weapon on Equality Way.
comment here. And it goes to is it Barry? Or am I going to the sitting area? But as long as the coastal erosion doesn't happen so much, I'm gonna
Hey, you ain't well, homie. Let's get you up out of here.
as long as islands and the coast are clear of everything. But also it's a pretty dangerous place, and I know I'm pretty stupid for having my whole eventually and probably not have a seafood diet, but I'm slowly realizing that. I'm slowly adapting. But that's how you adapt, slowly. But I don't know. 2000, I'd say about 2040. When I'm about 50 years old. Yeah. I don't too much try to say that oh man, I could have gotten a dock or something like that. Collections department.
You gotta watch out, fool.
Alright.
Hola. Fucked up.
Alright. Son of a bitch. That didn't go as planned and I lost $5,000, but But I think we're committed to the idea of taking over these ammunitions because they make a lot of money.
Happened about a month ago, maybe.
Maybe I could buy a convenience store. That'd be really cool. Oh, that'd be awesome if you could buy a convenience store. And then every once in a while we get robbed and you have to chase it off.
That's why I thought my
It'd be pretty cool, I think. But
I'm not the
spitballing ideas, you know? Spitballing ideas. But also too the way that our world is changing around us constantly, and quickly within there was, and also too sometimes the way that we change it. There was a shooting in California, and some children were injured today. I think.
This don't make no fucking
I'm not exactly sure if the and there's a lot of people talking about mental health and the way things are actually going, and that's the reason why I don't believe in football or anything like that. I've been trying to kind of push towards the reason why I played football, and I got concussions, like lots of them. Enough to where, and also broke my leg. Realizing the reasons why I did that, and I was a bit suicidal at the time, I have to say, because I mean I pretty much hit people, and fucking hit me, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of like a sanctioned fight, you know, a temporary fight that lasts, I would say, a pretty long fucking time, probably longer than any fight ever should last. So, realizing that, realizing that, that you're, that just as such of your, of sports and different things like that. Even soccer is terrible on shins, you know? And they can say it. They can say, oh my god, you're not going to talk about soccer, or you're not going to talk about football like that. I don't know. I don't get it. And I really don't understand the awesomeness of it. The only reason why I even survived football was the fact that I studied Kung Fu, and I studied, that's the only reason I survived football. I studied Kung Fu, and I studied dance moves, and ballet, and stuff like that. It's the only reason I would look up new dances and stuff like that, and try to mimic them. I would use footwork and do different things like that. It's the only reason why I survived. That's the only reason I survived, because even with all the vitamins in the world, or the vitamin supplements, or the stuff you could drink, or the stuff that the amount of sugar intake we had to actually take to actually go play by play, go stop and go and stop and go and stop and go. I mean, it takes a toll on your body, and with even regular kids, it's like they're trying to find mutants in the bunch or something, but that's the point, is we have to stop now. We have to start thinking more about ourselves, and I'm not saying that it won't unite us, but we'll be more united on other issues, and for better reasons. People want to say that they can sit or stand during something because of racism. There are plenty of other things killing every single one of us. That why don't we sit or stand for those things? There are plenty of other things killing the human race that no one even knows about. I'm not talking about some conspiracy theory. I'm talking about salt. I'm talking about sodium. It's a silent killer, and it's the #1 main cause of like heart disease and other stuff like that. Sugar, main cause of overweightness and diabetes, because if you don't move around constantly, because your body can't take moving around constantly, then your salt, the sugar that you take in, not the salt, the sugar you take in turns to fat, and the salt you take in clogs your arteries. And when those salts and sugars are attached to certain carbohydrates, it's even worse, or certain calories, it's even worse for you. So, I mean, take some time out and try to be a better person.
Who you think you fighting, fool?
People don't have money in the country. but yeah, realize that there are so many different things that people wish they could have, or wish they could do, or wish they could bring about. I guess whenever something leaves that you saw since you were a kid, you feel kind of like let down a little bit, and it hurts and it sucks, and sometimes you feel like it's never gonna last, or it's never gonna go through, or you're never gonna see it again. I mean,
Officers report a reckless driver on
it's a give or take situation.
in the chilliest mountain state wilderness.
Understandably so, though, you shouldn't expect those things off of different stuff, off of those things. I mean, you should expect more out of the people around you, because it's sometimes classic projection, or emotional projection, and we look into certain monuments or certain things that were around us while we were younger, and if they're not there anymore, then we feel like betrayed, I guess. But realize that betrayal is, oh my god.
Officers report a reckless driver west of the Cassidy Creek Bridge.
Alright. But I get out of the realize that that no matter what you're doing, no matter how you're doing things, you'll find that if you put less importance in the things around you, then you'll find out that you won't be attached to those things, and you won't wish those things were ever there, and you won't speak to a generation that died, or a generation that's gone, and your audience will always be in front of you, and you'll never feel like because I've felt this way before, and you'll never feel like you're out of time. I can say so much about what I'm doing myself, or what I'm trying to do myself, or what I'm saying, just to be able to make sure that I can I can do, I'd say, like certain menial tasks. Eventually, I realized that my audience and everything will pass me up, or the people that I'm even speaking to. I realized that eventually those things will be gone, or not just be gone, but I mean, we are finite. So there is an end to us, but there is not an end to what we are. So, I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's just, we're going down a country road, trying to figure some stuff out. Shit. Alright, but, But yeah, when you try to find out certain things about yourself and certain things about other things, you'll realize that like stuff like this, like realize that stuff like this has changed every day. Like in the city, and you realize that you shouldn't put importance on things that are there because they might not always be there. You should put importance on the people that are around because you know that they're not always going to be there. And besides experiencing what you want to experience, what? That was gonna bounce off the ground like a butterfly. Shit. But yeah, understanding what you really need to do with yourself in order to be able to make yourself feel better about things that are changing all around you. Realize that, I mean, obviously it's a good thing to come up with a hobby, but also it's a good thing to make sure that you can handle the type of situations that are going to arise in your everyday life. Realize that those situations happen in people's lives constantly sometimes, and they're just used to a certain amount of, I'd say, unbridled pain or emotional distancing. And realize that it's sometimes in American culture to I'd say to mourn a passing feeling, I guess, or nostalgia, I guess. Not really mourning a passing feeling, but to appreciate it one more time before you think it's gone. I guess trying to understand what makes the human body tick, or what
Oh, shit.
realize that no, because I'm doing a live stream, but it's okay, you can do it.
I can do it myself.
You could, but realize that no, I can hear you.
Hey, my car!
It's just to do it yourself because you threw it down there, unbridling it. I saw you threw it down there, and I realized that eventually you would tell me to pick that up, but I wouldn't do it.
Let me hold it open.
Oh, you're gonna. Oh, okay. Maybe you shouldn't have thrown it down there because you didn't care about it. Leslie, you don't remember doing that stuff? Doing those movies? The Kingsman, stuff like that. You rented them. What are you talking about? You know the Kingsman? You've seen it plenty of times. It's about England, the Kingsman, the suit place, and they destroyed Samuel L. Jackson, and he had a lisp, or whatever. It's not really like, it's like a, not how I envision that movie, but it's the simplest way to for someone else to recognize it that doesn't realize that they've played it 17,000 times.
Why is it $434?
I don't know. I really don't know. $34? $434? I don't know. Maybe they added tax on or something or whatever.
Watch out, man!
But yeah, tell me about your emotional, here we go. Ah, damn it.
Fuck.
I was gonna get this freaking motorcycle.
Fuck.
But, you can, yeah. It's really easy. Why? You go on Netflix or whatever. Yeah.
We don't really watch this shit.
No, we don't watch Netflix a lot. Yep. I watch Netflix whenever I binge watch a series like freaking
Oh, well, fuck you.
Stranger Things 2, and then stop in the middle of it, and then have my little brother tell me about it because I'm
Dispatch,
tired of
we got a
watching it.
visual on the perp in pursuit.
Don't worry, I kept it going just for the numbers.
Content.
Why are you fucking watching? Oh yeah, they upgraded everything.
Man, only inch.
I guess. But yeah, realizing that yeah.
Nowhere to go.
Get that son of a bitch.
Now he's on a motorcycle.
Realizing that that everything is finite. Eventually, all the rocks come tumbling down, and
Suspect northbound on
but also too, you don't have to level.
black motorcycle.
There's rocks tumbling down. I guess sometimes just realize that eventually that will happen, and you can do as much as you can to be able to make sure those rocks don't. But always realize that eventually it will. And how does that affect you emotionally? How does it affect you as far as
Dispatch, we have the suspect
person
20.
and as far as what you really see going on in your mind, and what you really know as far as your we're into 2 4, you're 4 stars in this motherfucker. 4 stars. Alright, realize that there's
Suspect southbound on Great Ocean Highway in Fort San Diego.
go down. Yeah. Could not go down a country road because there was
Suspect doing 60 miles
Son of a
per
bitch.
hour in western Fort San Diego.
yes, awesome. My motorcycle's kind of close. Hopefully, it is not set on fire. It might, though.
Dispatch, we have a suspect on a motorcycle.
Roger that.
We have to realize that we need to keep our priorities straight. Keep our priorities straight and in line with certain things, and we need to keep in line our own our own wants and me. Yeah. Alright, we gotta go back and see if we can find our motorcycle. There we go. Okay.
Fort San Diego approach road.
Dispatch, we have a suspect on a motorcycle.
We're gonna keep going.
10-4.
And we're going down old dirt road. And actually it is a dirt in trench. It's an trench. It's a dirt trench. Realizing that yes, I'm amazing, and I'm awesome, and I'm also amazing. Yes, I did it. I'm amazing. I'm amazed at my own ability, to have ability, to be able to do things. Great. Alright, understanding that everything comes to an end, and everything has finality, I guess. Or not to an end. Everything comes to an end if you experience it. Not really an end, but oh my god, almost died. And I'm probably gonna go down this thing. Come on, you can do it, 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 you can do it. Alright, let me get that. I'll get back here. I'm gonna do this. Do this. Okay, another. Where's the motorcycle? I need a fucking motorcycle because I cannot shoot for one. It won't let me.
I have eyes on the target.
Alright, where is it? Where did it go? I just drew a zombie, and it looks like I painted something, or not painted something, but I painted a thing. But I'm only doing the rough scraping of the skin, I guess. So that his head kind of looks like an egg. But yeah, thinking about what I guess zombie culture is, and how people kind of see through what the metaphor actually is for everything. It's an ending to something, or it's an ending to a certain kind of culture, or a certain kind of person, or a certain kind of experience in life. And in life there are so many different experiences, but what you have to understand and what you have to realize is that that land only brings an experience to those willing to seek it. I guess you can live on a boat for the rest of your life, or you can experience what it's like to have, I guess, the earth provide a surface for you to walk on. But realize that that no matter what, it's not any different. And people like to say that it's different, or like, oh, there's nothing quite like the seas. I made this boat by myself. It's like, no, you didn't. You had elements to actually bring about those things, and you didn't really make those things yourself. You know, the earth did, or the thing that was here did. And you basically mooched off of it. So we're all moochers, but it's okay. I'm gonna try and see if I can steal a product actually stealing.
Ah, that hurt.
Okay, alright, okay, alright.
Out the car,
I'm just gonna
nigga.
steal this. Alright, go and get out. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. We're gonna... Alright, cool. I'll throw bullets at me. Because,
This don't make no fucking sense.
I really wish there weren't, as far as... And, I wish they would just, bushes would just they'd fall down like they should, because these things, the telephone poles and shit, fall down like this. That falls down. Why the fuck doesn't the bush fall down? So realizing that there are always changes happening to life, and there are always changes happening to everything. It has a lot to do with a lot of existentialism that goes into, or not existentialism, but I guess not finality, I guess, but my favorite color is green, so I'm taking that other color over there, and we're gonna do this. I guess realizing that the only final thing you ever have to worry about is realizing that, I guess, we're not stardust or anything else besides the material that we decided that we are most of the time. And also what we decided we are is, I guess, a constant at constant conflict with things that are constantly trying to make us a part of it, I guess, and that would be the only reason for death. So it would be the only reason why after a certain time, things become more acidic or more basic.
I'll check it out.
I guess, I don't know. So I mean I do know, but it kind of sits with me, I guess. And I try kind of hard to accept the fact that
metallic green sports car.
that sometimes we make journeys for ourselves.
Units reporting 505 on Great Ocean Highway in Pacific Bluff.
It's kind of like we make stories for ourselves because of the lack of stories we see around us, or the lack of stories we know around us, and we think that something deserves telling. I guess when experiencing something as far as telling it, the individual experience is probably, I'd say, more profound than anyone could actually, anyone can actually express. I guess, and the dog has to go outside, so I'm probably gonna stop this. But,
My car!
cool. But yeah, that's, what I think about Thompson, maybe I'm doing my research paper online instead of doing it in a reality. But I hate writing. I really do. I hate it. If I ever wrote a book or a comic, I'm gonna need a ghostwriter or someone to be able to write for me, because I can't write. I can't sit down long enough to be able to write something. And when I do, my mind trails off, and I constantly think about other things that could add on to stuff. It could have added on to the beginning of a story, or it could have added on to the beginning of something that I thought was really cool, or something like that. And I tie things together really, really incessantly. So I'd probably be a good director, but I'd be a terrible, terrible, terrible writer. But yeah, that's pretty much. I'm aware of my own shortcomings sometimes, and I don't try to say that I'm immaculate. Obviously not, because I got a little bit of belly from eating food today. Not physically or mentally, but and I still had the R2 button held down. Even as I came out of the hospital. It was funny. Awesome. But also too, I'm going to try and figure out whether it's the placebo effect happening on my medicine, or or whether or not it's an actual thing happening. Whether it's in my reflexes, creating reflexes. So because that's what happens sometimes with people who take medication, or people who are just incessantly stressed out. Stressed out. People need to understand that that I'm extremely imaginative, and the reason why I was extremely imaginative is sometimes I wanted to desperately escape the world that I was in. It wasn't because of anyone around me. It was just because of people who I got put in front of. Sometimes they would be completely douchebaggers. The douchebaggery was afoot, and I was not having any of it. I was like, I'm not dealing with this bullshit. I am just about a 5-year-old. I do not feel as though I should give a shit. And I decided to never let anyone fuck with me or make me feel like I was like I was I'd say I'd say lacking in skill or something like that. But because of that, I guess I probably put my sisters and brothers in a fucked up situation sometimes because I've done it before, and I'm trying not to. I kind of like I guess I kind of like put people into situations where they wanted us all to stay together, I guess, but I couldn't keep my grades up because I was constantly thinking about what to do next. I was constantly thinking about what I was going to do the next time, or the next way, or the next people, I guess, to see me do something, or to see me or anything. I was constantly thinking about myself, and in some ways, I kind of messed it up for my brothers and sisters in the early stages, I guess. I don't know, but in the same sense, I don't think I did any favors for them, and that's the difference between me and I guess I'd say the rest of my immediate. I realized that because of me, sometimes people had to suffer, and because of my actions, I guess I suffered because I wanted to be able to find someone who wasn't so like okay, this sounds weird, it sounds stupid. It sounds extremely stupid and it sounds extremely lame. But there was this girl, and she was in my like second or third, no, she was in my first grade class when I immediately started drawing and when I immediately started doing stuff. Her name was Lee, and she had like orange reddish hair, and she was really, really cute. And I don't know, I guess when I thought that's the way, and it has nothing to do with her or anything like that. It was just the way that I experienced that year. That year was the year my family like kind of split up. So it kind of sits with me a little bit, a lot of it sometimes, and I kind of try to see where that life or that part of my life went wrong, and I went in, no, it was second grade. It was second grade. I was 7, I think, or 6 or 7 years old, and that's the year I realized basically my family wasn't getting back together because I had realized that they had basically just split up, and I was coming to terms with everything, and I don't know. It just felt like. It felt like I wanted to be with her, I wanted to be around her, but I felt like if it ended anything like what my dad and my mom had, then it wasn't worth getting into because I wouldn't want to put her through that, and I wouldn't want to put me through that. And there's a lot to think for a 6 or 7-year-old, completely. But I don't know. I guess smarter people get depressed more easily. And or not smarter, because I don't even know if it would have worked out or if she would have been the person for, or if we would have just wound up being friends. I guess I'm not professing my love or anything like that, because I mean obviously those feelings have subsided, and I realized that there was just. And granted, she was my friend, and I wanted to be hers, but, and I was her friend for the most part. I don't know, I just guess that, I guess I got in my own way, I guess. I just jumped over the train. It's pretty awesome. but yeah, whenever I think back to those days, and I think back to those kind of situations, or I think back to the situations that I took completely out of context and kind of made about me, I realized that it's not that serious. It's always not that serious. I mean, it's not as serious as I make it out to be, and I guess that just keeps me from ever becoming manic or ever like losing my faith or anything in myself, and that's it basically, because I don't have faith in religion or anything like that. Losing my sanity basically, and my mental capacity basically, and I think that's what speaks to me, and so every single time I see someone and I'm in doe-eyed like confusion, I always try to make it a point to make sure that I can see that person again. And I don't know. And I guess it has a lot to do with the things that was brought to me, like the situations and stuff that basically were put in my my thing, and also too, I don't think that there's some sort of immediate connection. I just am taken aback by the way that they look, or the way that they, I guess, express themselves in front of me, or in front of anyone for that instance, because I usually don't just look at them for 1 second and be like, oh, she's the girl for me. No, I'm more of like a window of attraction. Like I see her if she says things that are funny, that are cute or cool, and but also too, in the same sense, if she says things that are mature and also in a way don't off-put me in any sense of the word. Awesome. But yeah, my zombie is gonna look pretty cool when I'm done with it, and I'm probably gonna post it. But don't think about the things and the stuff that is around you that made that moment. Realize that, and I'm speaking like particular OCDs or people who are like things a certain way, and if somebody comes into their realm, then they're like, oh, things are a certain way, and no, things aren't a certain way. It's like you feel comfortable because of this, and you should feel comfortable because you yourself feel comfortable, and also bringing that person into your space can I guess mess up, I guess, what people would call a feng shui. And I don't really believe in kind of feng shui stuff. I just like to put things in certain places sometimes, and on the floor, what Leslie says. And that kind of brings me a little bit of more of a peace, I guess. Not really, like, I mean, and because I've been alone sometimes, and it sucks. But also too, whenever I meet someone that I truly like respect and truly like because they like to fart off and do stupid shit and say stupid shit sometimes, because I will say stupid shit. I will say what's on my mind. I will say dumb stuff all the time. Me, and also when I'm serious, I even like to say stupid shit then, because it makes me feel like I'm on point as far as witty comebacks go, and I tried so hard to be able to see different things and see see the way that things affect people, or the way that things affect me. Like the changing tides, or the changing winds or just the changing in different things. And I don't know, like sometimes people would say there's a difference in the way they feel about themselves because of a certain environment change, and I am directly referencing the statue things. Like people are happier or something like that, and it's like no, they're not going to be happier. They're going to be less, I guess, because in the same sense, the more we take away from our own environment, it's like the more that other people who put in money to express themselves, the more they're infringed upon. And also to realize that the more you try to limit someone's speech on what their opinions are, the more you realize that sometimes there are more of them than there are of you. I'm not saying that I believe in anything. I'm just saying that the more that you infringe on someone else's opinions, I guess, the more you're becoming like the thing you hate sometimes. And the thing you hate is hate speech or hate anything. And sometimes people can have an unbiased hate speech. It's like I hate people in general, like mugs that say that shit, or like, oh, I hate everyone equally. It's just like, no, it's not.
We're flying over now.
It's not about that. But it's like the more you realize that your environment matters sometimes, and the more that it changes, sometimes the more that you change. Realize that, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I mean, I'm not saying that I've supported, or I really didn't care. I think they should have been in museums to begin with, because I mean, it's like people have to learn about other stuff, like astute and proper history, or instead of like the nitty-gritty history. There are different kinds of ways to tell the story of our history. There are ways to say, oh, there were so many people, so many doing this, and then they came up with papers, and then oh, okay, did they just come up with papers? Well, not actually. They didn't really come up with papers. The more they actually came up with stuff, the more they realized that they were actually nitpicking and doing different things. And then, so they had to cut it back a little bit. So when they cut it back, they realized they had something like a full idea. And when they had the full idea, they got really, really drunk and celebrated. Because they had a lot of ideas, and then they wanted to celebrate those ideas. So they got so drunk, they forgot about signing the paper. No one tells you that. And no one tells you that they would, for someone, they would all drink and smoke weed, a whole bunch of stupid shit. So like politics has like changed for the course of certain things, times. Yeah, there's that. There's the fact some of them had prostitutes. Like all of them had prostitutes. Even after slavery was over. Yeah, there's all that. There's so many things that people would like to leave out of history that actually were in history, because it's things that happen every day, pretty much. And they wouldn't like to say that they wived their maids or indentured servants or even slaves for that they mated with their maids or indentured servants or whichever thing. It's just like, I guess, I don't know, just look in history books, because they've done it. All of them have done it.
No way!
Up to like the Kennedys. Fucking gangster, man. This is fucking.
Oh my
god! But like, just as far as things go like that, like, realize that things can change in an instant, and sometimes the way that people wanted to get away with stuff and wanted to express themselves, realize that the reasons why we have certain things, is sometimes to stave off bad things, or sometimes to stave off bad people. Yeah. I think it's like in order to make sure that sometimes people would say to themselves and to what they wanted to do, sometimes they would set up monuments that people with things that they disagreed with.
Fuck me!
It's like, you know, it's like that's what they would do back in the old days sometimes. And like, not in the old days, like that's what they would do. They would instead of having people like agree with them on everything or say that, oh yes, I agree with that. It's like, oh, look at this monument. Look what we did. Of course we agree with you. It's like, yeah, that's sometimes what people would do. The reason why sometimes people would do that is because they were afraid for their lives sometimes. And that's sometimes the birth of the modern monument. But in the same sense, people had to realize that those monuments themselves meant nothing if it didn't work, or if it meant nothing if it didn't have some sort of emotional value towards it. Because sometimes the monuments were real, and it was just pick and choose whether or not those monuments were real to you. Because if they mean something to you, then they mean something to you. But if they don't, then, I mean, they tried, right? But even so, whenever you're thinking about the way that land, I guess, decides to fall or go where it may, realize that there are plenty of places, and the more we fill up, or the more we leak out water and oil and different things, the more holes and things are going to be in something's land. The less seeds that will grow as a result. And because of irrigation and mining, sometimes there is just sometimes no what's the word, there's no room for monuments. And if we become a nameless and faceless society, I guess, constantly wanting something as far as capitalism goes, or constantly thinking that we are a republic, or constantly thinking in a republic way to where everyone and everything must be represented. The ways that we see through that, the ways that we see through that are the fact is that everything is constantly changing around us, and so that is the reason for democracy, I guess, for the democracy part. But also too, if Democrats and Republicans don't soon enough realize that they're not the only people in the entire race or the runoff, and if the U.S. government doesn't do something about the way that we run ourselves into the ground sometimes, boasting about whether or not somebody is uncorrupt enough to be able to go into mayoral candidates or presidential candidates, or stupidity or dumbness, or the fact is that the land's changing all around us, and we shouldn't really give a shit about what people do and how they do it, but we do because we want to stay in the same place, right? And that's probably the only reason why we even give a shit. But understandably so. Also, the reasons why we give a shit is because we're trying to build something every single day, and we're trying to keep building on that something. And that's probably the bigger reason. And when we build upon brick by brick or thing by thing, kind of people kind of see what we're trying to make, I guess, in a way. And in a way, people also try to see that, and I'm gonna die. I died. People try to see that that just because someone is insane, or someone is crazy, or someone is something, it doesn't mean that they didn't do all bad, or it doesn't mean they didn't do all good. And just because somebody was a drunk, or somebody was, oh my god, that person had slaves, it's like, but that person did set free their slaves and didn't throw them out in the cold whenever slavery was over with. I'm not saying that anyone did that, but that it did not happen. But I'm also saying that that human decency was a thing that that transcends any race or any culture, and in the same sense, it transcends what we see as and perceive as what we know as far as land, things around us, and whether or not people deserve that human decency, or whether or not they want to say that human decency has died within a certain realm of characteristics, realize that no one in New Orleans, in the entirety of the argument of whether or not those statues should be around or not, were ever out there. People made their own arguments, literally from different states and different places, simply because they liked the look of it. And whether or not they liked the look of it, whether or not New Orleans really cared, because it really didn't bring that much money, it didn't take that much money away to take it down, and it really didn't take that much money. And it should have been in the museum to begin with. That's what I believe. Because if you wanted to learn about whether or not a person was a bad person or a good person or anything, it's completely your choice. It's completely up to you, and it shouldn't be forced on you, like some governments do. Some governments force you to learn about their culture, force you to learn about everything, to be exactly like them. You don't. In this country, you don't have to be like them. You don't have to see like them. You don't have to know like them, because everyone in this country knows that it takes all kinds to be able to make something truly great. So you don't have to be on one side of an argument. You don't have to be on two sides of an argument. You don't have to be on the third side of an argument. You don't have to be on any side of the argument. You can stay at home and not even participate. It's completely your choice. And that's the reason why we have museums. It's the reason why we pay, some people in the state pay people to do things, or the federal government pay people to take care of things. It's just in case anyone wants to actually see it, it's there. But it's not in your face every day. It's not always around you. It's not every single thing you're doing. And even if it's outside in a courtyard somewhere that you're looking at, if you're smoking a cigarette, you don't have to look at it. So remember, the next time a monument is put up and people have mixed opinions whether or not it's there, it's like you have the option to walk away, or you have the option to not look at it. You have the option to flip it off. Because you can do whatever the fuck you want. It's not anarchism. Okay? It's democracy. You can criticize your government just as much as anyone else does. And the more we honor ourselves and honor whatever we're doing, people need to understand that sometimes people were just paying those people sometimes to do different things. It's like, yeah, it's like people think that sometimes you want to be a nationalist, you can go to a different country and do that. Realize that some people choose to be nationalists, and they don't force that opinion on anyone else. It's like, yeah, it's just like people choose to be gay or straight, and they don't force it on anyone else at all. And that's the thing about our, I'd say our government that's individualistic, and people just take care of stuff. You're supposed to serve the land. You're supposed to serve the people. And that's, I guess, what our government is built around. And sometimes people think that they forget that. I think that they can forget that. And I don't see a difference in what people are actually looking for as far as lives matter, because every life matters. Every life matters under democracy. Every single one. They're not numbers. They're not statistics. Marketing companies do statistics. Marketing companies do statistics. And do statistics. Marketing companies do statistics. There we go. Marketing companies do statistics. And no one else should be able to do that. And no one else should be able. No one else has to do that. Not should be able. No one else should be able to go through that amount of statistics and statistics and realize that I have to say a certain tone in order to be able to say statistics. And to get your mouth ready for statistics. It sounds terrible. But yeah. But realize that a lot of government goes into what people think is ever-changing land and escapes and ever-changing anything, and realize that there's not a huge volcano underneath Yosemite Park. It really, they've done no research in that. It's not scientifically proven. It's really not. There's not. It's just not. It's just bubbles because there's a tectonic plate and those things rub together, and when there's friction, there's bubbliness. There's heat, and where there's heat, there's air, and when there's air, there's warmth, and there's warmth, there's probably a warm pool of water. They try to say that there is a oh my gosh, there's a huge volcano ready to erupt under Yosemite Park. It's like, yeah, that's why there's so many trees there, you idiot. If there was an actual volcano seeping out of the ground, then there wouldn't be that much vegetation around it, now would there? And also, I don't know, I don't get it. It's like, you can tell by the land, dude. It's like, yeah, you can see on Google Earth that they're like having a great time. Trees everywhere, whoop-de-doo. It's still a great park. You can see those like really cool. It's like there is no actual complete explanation about the reasons why there is. I mean, they haven't dug underneath the ground and said, oh, yep, there's a volcano there. And until they do, I shall continue to see the trees growing in Yosemite Park. But also too, like, I just see like,
Units reporting a reckless driver.
I just see like so many people disagreeing on me with this. It's like, yeah, you would expect to see some sort of vegetation plumage like change, because with heat and an index of a tectonic plate, then you probably see different things moving together. You'd see a lot more heat, so you would see a lot less vegetation, a lot less wildlife as well. Bears would probably go haywire and they wouldn't even be around it, because animals can sense seismic vibrations. It's in the infrasound sometimes that actually that's the reason why. It's the vibration in the air that's coming from the ground. Basically, you can sense it, and sometimes people who are blind even see it, even sense it, kind of as a wave, a little bit, or they get sick or anything like that.
Officers report a reckless driver.
You know, you can really sense a tectonic plate that's shifting under your feet sometimes, because it can literally make you seasick sometimes, but not really seasick, tectonically plate sick. So but other than that, I'm gonna keep going with this amazing demolition derby / run from the cops. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna keep going. So yeah. Yeah, jump the ramp. But yeah, think about it in the comments. What is your favorite landmark that is or isn't anymore? What's your favorite landmark? Environmental or non-environmental? Think about it. What's your favorite landmark? It could be all over the world, because this is going all over the world, pretty much, or whatever. If you find this and you think that what's your favorite landmark, then and if you troll me or say some sort of stupid shit, then I will call you out on it, and I will say, what's your favorite part about it? So if you say a really terrible one, like I'm thinking in my head, and I'm not going to share, but it's pretty fucking terrible. I'm not going to give anybody any ideas. But I will call you out on it and say, what's your favorite part about it? And if you say anything having to do with Yeah, I know. I know what it is. I'm not gonna say it. Still, if it has anything to do with hurting someone or bodily harm, then I'm gonna be like, what's your favorite part about that? And you're gonna get caught by the cops. Just running to the food stand. Yay! We made it to the fruit stand. But yeah, tell me your favorite part about an environmental or non-environmental landmark that inspires you, or makes you feel good, or makes you feel a positive landmark, not one that's made out of fear or hate or anything like that. So yeah, that pretty much excludes the one that I'm thinking. But if you want to troll, then troll, and I'll still ask you, what's your favorite part about it? And then I'll try to troll the shit out of you. And awesome! Finally wound up right in the front of a desert jail. Awesome. Awesome. All right. We're gonna keep going, and we're gonna talk about some stuff. There. And we're gonna keep going. Shut up, Bo. Son of a bitch. Calm down, Bo. You're not gonna bring any more sticks, you little butt. Oh. So, think about, I'd say what you want to do with yourself as far as something like that, because and that's what I think sometimes, because but also too, it might not be that way. I mean, the geology of Earth might change, and things might actually start looking more positive, or things might actually start drying up. You never know, because of the volcanic activity. Because, I mean, you never know. No? There's no actual predicting actually what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and everyone can say that it's due for a volcanic or whatever volcano is around is due for a volcanic activity. Then, I mean, that's a tourist plot, and you know it. Yes. I found a new jump spot. Let's do this. Ooh. I'm amazing. I'm amazing. I'm amazing. I'm amazing. Found one. Yeah. Awesome. I failed it, you son of a bitch. I don't care. I look cool. Whatever. So, but yeah, thinking about what's your favorite landmark? I use landmarks all the time whenever I'm lost to figure out what's north, south, east, and west when I don't have a compass on the car that I'm driving. And you know, an electronic compass, obviously. But I'm not gonna like look at a compass and be like, yeah, I'm due north or something like that, or well, not due north, but straight north, I guess, or whatever. I don't care what it is or anything. Due north is straight north, probably, is or magnetic north or something like that. But yeah, my farts smell like CO2 or tire rubber, usually for short. Carbon, you know, because I was outside. But that's what happens when you walk outside sometimes. In the city, sometimes in the country it smells like fish. Because everyone's like, oh my god, the country is such a great place to fish. And it's like, what? Okay. And then they're like, what? We need to put a manufacturing plant by this place. get fish. Like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you put it in like upstate? Yeah, like it may like compromise the freshness sometimes, but it wouldn't be so bad because no one's actually living near it. Because, but I don't know, you know, it's just people do that, you know. They put things near cities because they're stupid and they don't know the consequences of doing stuff like that. Yeah. But hey, landmarks, alright? And still no one's paying attention. And I don't give a shit, because I'm climbing this hill. A country road. 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 Oh god, my fart smells terrible. Ah, it smells terrible. But yeah, tell me about your landmarks and what kind of landmarks make you fart weird smells. My landmark's more that people ride on, and then that makes the smell, or me breathing certain chemicals, and you know, yeah. Oh shit! Oh shit! No! I knew it was gonna happen. All right, I wasn't ready for it. You know. No, I just kept saying oh shit because I knew that at one point I would fall at that thing that I did. If you're just joining us in this episode part of the thing, then you'll know that I have 0 live viewers. Eventually you'll come to terms with that and start viewing it when it's live. But I'm Joe Bomb Squad, and I'm talking about the way that the land changes and the way that it affects our emotions. What we're used to as far as a land monument or an environmental monument or something like that, because I don't know, you know, it's just like it could be, and also when you think about it, sometimes it actually doesn't do anything except, like, I don't know, some people have seen stuff to like it's like their parents, okay? It's like if they do things in front of it, something like that. It's like the parent that was really cool. You know? Like and some people are gifted with like parents that are both really cool. But like there's like or their friend that was really cool, and they could do stuff in front of, or not do stuff in front of, but like well, Bo, what are you doing? Oh, okay, cool. We're just on your bed. Cool. All right. I thought he was messing with the cat, and the cat wasn't on the bed. So. But realizing that we were that whole time. Awesome. That was awesome. And we're done. Awesome. But also to realize that eventually all like environmental landmarks will kind of subside, and you won't exactly feel like anything's done much, I guess. I guess, and also, I mean, like, and and about earlier about the Yosemite Park, people can say that there's seismic activity, but they can say that there's seismic activity in like a mountain that of like that magnitude, like I mean of that stature, of comparatively speaking to what that would be if it was human, if it was what that would be if it was human. They can say that there's seismic activity happening underneath lake, and seismic activity usually is happening no matter what. It's usually the vibration between ground, and that's what causes, and what actually sometimes even is the culprit of infrasound and certain sounds, certain vibrations that like people say that like, oh, like there was like sirens happening everywhere. It's like, no, they weren't sirens. They're it's the ground vibrating. That's the ground vibrating, and they're like say like oh, there was sirens everywhere. It's like, no, that's the ground shifting, and the echo of the sound burst that it makes. That's what it is. That is exactly what it is. I was in science class. I realized that eventually people are gonna start realizing that the Earth makes sounds, and that it goes through its entire gravitational force before it reaches the outer layers of the atmosphere. And that's what it is. I don't know where people got this notion where the Earth like doesn't actually make noises that are alive, I guess. Also too, that was an awesome grind. So but yeah, that's basically what it is. So realize that your Earth is alive, and as to the awkward notions of it. I mean the awkward notions of people like being a geologist and saying like, oh yeah, Africa's gonna go into the ground. It's like, no, it won't. It probably won't. It's like, yeah, it's not gonna be in the ground. No, it really isn't. I mean, people will be in the ground in Africa because of their constant quarrels and that kind of stuff, because they don't know how to get along sometimes, and they don't know how to work on one centralized government. That kind of stuff, because eventually that's the reason why centralized governments were formed, is because of the fact that too many governments, if there was too many small governments, then no one would get seen sometimes. People would say that, oh, there's some sort of plot against me or something like that. They'd make it up, or they'd say that it was people that were trying to, what's the word, undermine my authority. There it is. That's the word. That's the words, undermining authority. And why would you undermine someone else's authority? How could you undermine someone else's authority? Oh, a criminal undermines the authority of the cops whenever he does something terrible or heinous or violent or mean. Did you know that the wind undermines the authority of water when it pushes it and does its job for it, thinking that there's so many different things that you could say undermine something and something else, but really, if you think about it, like undermining someone else's authority is what it's like. It's a loosely based term that can make someone feel like they're under a reign instead of under a government, and I'd say that moreover, what people are trying to actually accomplish with these governments, and I mean, I don't think they're all scams, obviously, because I mean the prince from Niger sending emails and stuff like that saying that I could be a millionaire. All I need to do is give him my bank account information. Or the people from who claim they're from India and have a 504 area code phone number, or or a 1877 number that says Louisiana or the United States of America or something like that, and say that, oh, your computer is being looked in right now on 15 different people. All right, cool, by 15 different people. If that's happening, then eventually I'll probably pour some water on it, which I did. I didn't mean to do it on purpose because I was drinking water right next to my computer, and I'll probably not do that anymore. But understandably so. Those people who are looking in probably know my bank account information, even though I don't have a bank account. Or I don't have a bank account information on my internet. So and I don't know. I guess it's really easy when you have someone else doing all your transactions for you, and they don't know who they are. So I don't know. It's cool, I guess. But I don't want to turn this off. Bring me a higher love. That's right. Bring me a higher love. A higher one. Bring me a higher love. Oh. Bitch. Jeez. Alright. It's my favorite curse word. So also I'm probably gonna get age gated when I do that stuff. But I did. Like I did. And I don't everywhere because I don't pay enough people. Or enough booster places to boost my stuff or anything like that. I don't know. That's the way that Facebook and YouTube are pretty much the same. I mean, you're not gonna get, I guess, quality, I guess, quality ad revenue, or like or views if you're not boosted by YouTube. But in the same sense, if you don't have the right tools that you have to buy in order to be able to make a good thumbnail or to make a good thing or to even make a good logo, so I'll have to hire like a college student from that knows coding and graphics rendering, and I'll have to come up with a good thing, and I'll have to ask PlayStation about this thing because I really like this symbol. This little dude right here. This little bomber dude or whatever. Yes. Awesome. God dang it. And I fucking fucked up. I fucked up. Alright, but when you're thinking about stuff that also I don't know, thinking about all the stuff that can actually happen, I guess, with landmarks and things like that, realize that eventually, I mean, we are swamped, but we're on a kind of sturdy piece of land as far as New Orleans goes, and I mean, not basically sturdy, but as far as like what's the word? No, not annoyed. As far as son of a bitch. Goddamn shit. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, think about what landmarks have done for your life, what things have done for your life, what kind of experiences you've had in the buildings and the places and the things you've seen. Also, the importance you put on that, because it's huge. It's a huge importance sometimes to some people. I guess what people should understand and people should know is it takes a lot of it takes a lot of courage to be able to do something the same way when something else isn't around, to be able to make you feel at home, I guess. Like, people say that, like, oh, like, anyone would be able to feel at home at like at a pink room that has like really awesome fuzzy pillows, or like really comfortable anything. I just farted again. All right, I don't violently fart, I don't think, but they're always warm. But there I go. Understanding that I didn't know that I was there. I keep guessing, and it actually works out every once in a while. So, let's see if we can do a mission. Hour and 30. Let's see here. Alright, let's...
Hello.
Empty field hanger.
Find me somebody to kill.
I don't know what it was, I don't know what to do.
No, find me somebody to kill.
I don't know why do you want to kill people?
Because the guy was supposed to just fix the phone. That was more fucked up than it was.
That's cool.
What the hell is this? What's he chewing up?
Both chews up sticks and shit when you let him outside. It really sucks. Alright, so let's go to the photo opportunity.
I keep telling people, why do I have to spend hours
Let's go photo with people and stuff like that. Because I know this friendship's gonna end for these two guys. It sucks. It really does suck. But it really does. It sucks. But it really does, because I like switching them between all three of them and just not giving a shit about the consequences and stuff like that. It's kind of fun. And when they made a character arc for every. Oh my gosh. That was amazing. And they made a character arc for everyone, and then it's kind of harder for me to like a bunch of stuff. Alright, we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep talking about landmarks and how they affected our lives, and the reason why they're gone, you know, because if they do infringe upon people's rights or people's like wants, I guess, and needs, or even if they're a darker part of history, then because there are so many different dark parts. There are a lot of dark parts, and there are so few and far between light parts that sometimes people don't know what to put on our skins, on our stuff. But I mean, people understand that put a lot of money into stuff, and I guess that's probably the reason why so many other places decided it was their idea to put up the statue, or to keep the statue there. Because so many other places actually party here and stuff like that, and that money is so far and few between back probably at their own city. So much so that, I mean, people should realize that. is that eventually all the money that we make, that we see and come through our city goes back to different federal funded programs and pretty much goes back to their city. So so I mean, I don't know, you know, people just think they invest stuff and they don't realize that they're just partying and having a great time, or they're just doing something funny or great for a certain period of time and then not actually seeing. Wait, is that a regular house? Downtown cab company? Oh, is that a cab company? Let me see how much it is, because I'm gonna buy it with another character probably.
Hello?
It's only 200,000. That would be so cool. Awesome.
Sorry, man, my wife is giving me shit again.
So so knowing what we know about landmarks and knowing what we know how they affect our lives and stuff like that, no matter if they're an environmental landmark or if they're a part of our history that we probably don't want to talk about, I guess. No matter, I mean, obviously there's plenty of other landmarks there's plenty of other landmarks that are questionable. So I mean, and also too, I mean, it has a lot to do with. And I'm not saying that there are plenty of other landmarks in America that are questionable. But there are
Yo, what
plenty
up,
of
my brother? Check this shit out. You know Princess Georgina, that snooty English royal?
Shit, not really. She don't kick it in Chamberlain Hills much.
Well, word has it she likes to blaze one for Queen and Country, if you know what I mean. There's a deal going down right now. I need you to meet my contact outside Chico's hypermarket. And try not to blow his cover, okay?
All right, man, this one I got. I'll hit you when it's done.
and it could be stuff like it could be they could say that I mean I could see pretty much any one of
Ándale, ¿qué tal? ¿Todo bien?
Yo, you Beverly's
I
boy?
could see a lot of different different landmarks in my own head that I could use for something completely.
Sticky cowboy, mindless passion, purple plunder, endless panic, whatever you want.
Marvelous. I'll take it all.
Okay.
I am on.
Son of a bitch. Oh, it's a photo op. I could take a freaking. Oh, damn it. Send Beverly a photo of the princess.
I have sticky cowboy.
Okay, how do I do this?
Mindless passion, purple.
What the hell?
Plunder, endless panic, whatever you want.
Oh, that's what I have to do.
Marvelous. I'll take it all.
Okay.
I am on holiday. I mean, apart from a few photo shoots with orphans and cripples. But, like, I could do that in a coma. They really are the same the whole world round, you know?
Okay, give me a second.
So, like, back in England, my help would, like, totally do this for me. But they're, like,
Wait.
super scared of being arrested and totally banged by scary dudes in US jail, yeah? So, like, so ghastly. It's just, it's
Okay.
such a total drag. I mean, the UK taxpayer gives them money to protect me and be my servant. They should just, like, do what I say. Even if it's, like, lick my shoe or buy me drugs or, like, perform a sex act on my dog.
There we go.
You know? The taxpayer should totally get their money's worth, right? I mean, back when we had an empire, the king could, like, chop people's heads off and stuff, and that was so much better. I mean, the queen is like my granny. You know, it takes hundreds of years.
Oh, shit. What'd I do?
To get recessed chin, buck teeth, and snout like nose like nothing. I mean, I'm a rare breed. I should be, like, cherished and stuff.
Okay, Here you go. This should chill you the fuck out.
Oh, well, one of you apes
Okay, gotta get the fuck out of there.
Really? Secret Service has gone down the pan? Oh, thank you. Fantastic. I really enjoy meeting the underclass. I'm so relatable in that way.
Amazing. I took photos or whatever of people hanging out. That means that I've... Bo, what are you doing?
Incredible, dude! That photo is solid gold! This is bigger than climate change! Imagine the headlines. All those highness puns. I am gonna be rich!
Don't you mean we?
Oh, yeah. Mi casa, tu casa, you know. I'll catch you later. I need to get this to print.
Mission pass. How much money do I get? Oh, I got 75% completion. And I gotta wait. I have to do my other thing. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be cool. Photo opportunity. Alright. This is fun. I mean, not because I would ever do this in real life, because not that I ever have the balls to take a picture of someone who's a celebrity, because I don't believe in, what's the word? Invasion of privacy, I guess. And also, too, it's probably the reason why I don't have any followers and 3 subscribers. Or any, thing. I have 3 subscribers. Look it up. I think I have, I wanted to find out who those subscribers are, but I have to open it up in YouTube Studio, so I have to...
Hey, yo, what's going on?
Our friend Poppy Mitchell has just been spotted in a high-speed chase with the cops. Like right now, bro. Apparently she's wasted. Get after them. See if you can snag a shot of her getting busted.
Hey, my car!
Amazing.
I guess that's her.
Maybe they're fake people, so I don't feel any anymore. You son of a bitch. You're a stupid whore and you know it. We're talking about the car right there.
Man, how the fuck I get myself into this?
Yeah, it's really stupid that I can fucking make it through any goddamn thing ever and like come out unscathed. And somehow the traction on my tires is like, I don't even want to do the physics of this thing right now. All right. The meltdown. Bub, shut up. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for right now. I did the whole thing, and I wanna do something fun to make sure that I can.
That photo! What can I say? A-grade journalism! Our little sex tape sent Sloppy Poppy on a full-blown meltdown! How does it feel to be on the front lines, dude?
Shit, it ain't exactly Iraq, man. And you know what? I might feel a little less degraded.
Why are you putting down my phone number?
All in good time. The truth comes first. I'll be in touch.
504 236 5783. They're gonna sell me something. You know they're gonna do that, right? Yeah, they're gonna sell me something because they sell that shit to a whole bunch of different people. Like my freaking phone number 5783. It's also on live stream, so if anyone wants to call me and tell me what a douche I am, to be able to talk about landmarks and stuff when there's people revolutionizing in the streets. If y'all want to talk to me and tell me stuff, then you totally can. But understandably so, I have unlimited minutes, so you know. All right, we're gonna get back. No, what these people will, because I'm on live stream on the internet. Yep. Yeah, that was so cool. All right, I'm done. Have a good day.
Hello.
This has been Game Therapy with Joe Bomb Squad. Bo, shut the hell up. This has been Game Therapy with Joe Bomb Squad. Thank you. Thank you for doing the whole thing. And if you were talking about landmarks the whole time and wanted to know different stuff about landmarks, then you can check with your national registry and talk to your senator about your landmarks, and or go on the internet and just check around, or you can go in person and check around. Be a tourist in your own city, wherever you are. It'd be so much fun. And that's it. This has been Game Therapy with Joe Bomb Squad. Thank you for listening, and if you ever do listen, thank you. All right, bye. And you are your own bomb squad. You can defuse situations before they happen, and there you go.